It's KGB. Live show. We gon' set it right. Live show. We only tell the truth. Live show. We gon' set it right. Live show. The true straight way.
Straight from the scripture.
Straight way.
To you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way.
Straight from the scripture.
Straight way.
To you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way.
All right. Welcome to the KGB live show with your host, Brother Kabir Gbaja-Biamila.
Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. All righty.
We are here.
So we are here.
Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
That's it.
Anyway, welcome to another show. Everyone, let's do a quick sound check. Let us know how we're coming in. Brother Kabir, if you want to check your mic.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Brother Jordan.
Shalom. Testing.
Let us know if we're coming in clear. Eight for great. Perfect.
So good.
Coming in. All right. Sounds good. Saints, we got a great show for you guys tonight. You see the title of the show, Patriarchy versus Matriarchy. I'm sure you guys can assume what we might be talking about, but I believe Brother Kabir's got some really valid points coming up here that he may have shared in the past, but also some new points too. But anyway, we're going to get into the show here pretty quick. We're going to change the format a little bit here. We're going to save announcements till the end of the show, and so we can move quickly. What's that? I'm very low? Yeah. I can speak a little louder.
How's that looking?
Is the music overpowering the... Probably the music. Check. 1 2 1 2. Is that better? Any problem? No? Alright, we'll adjust here as we go along. But Brother Kabir, how are you doing tonight, man? You've had a...
It's better now.
It's been a busy week so far.
It has.
Very eventful, but I'm sure you'll touch on those subjects later on in the Patreon Live segment of this show. But how are you doing tonight, Brother Kabir?
Hey, well, I am doing good. Tired. I have to the point I have to have coffee. I'll just leave it as that. But I do need a little bit of energy boost here. I hope I don't start sweating. Do we have the air conditioner working this time? Because last time I think I was getting hot up here. Hey, Ryan, check the air conditioner. Make sure we're good here. Because last time I was getting hot up in here. So anyway, guys, like always, first I just want to give all praise to the Most High Yah for allowing us to do another episode, another show. I also want to give thanks to our shepherd. Pastor Dow, for just allowing us to be able to be a part of Straightway Truth's ministry. When I say that, at least allowing this show to be a representative of what we do here at Straightway Truth Ministry. And of him promoting it, just giving his blessing for the show. So everything I've learned is because of our shepherd, Pastor Dow, and I wouldn't even be able to even have the understanding and knowledge to even come before you and talk about the things that I've learned from my own experience, but having more understanding what I experienced because of the things that Yah has used Pastor Dow. So I just want to give thanks to that. I want to give thanks to my brothers who here helped me to put on this production. Couldn't put this on by myself. I mean, you've seen what I did when I was by myself. I sure need some help there. But so Brother David back here is my tech guy. I got Brother Jordan here, my reader now. See, I upgraded, got me a reader now, so I can focus on what I need to say. And then I got... obviously, Freddie back there checking the audio, making sure everything is working, and he's regulating the chat room. So if you act crazy, he will kick you out. He's the bouncer. He's the bouncer in the chat room. He's our virtual bouncer. And so if that fart guy shows up, he will be bounced out of here. So anyway. So anyway, guys, hey, so I want to go right into it, guys, and not go into it. You don't have anything to say, right?
No.
Okay. Yep. So, guys, so Pastor Dow, me and Pastor Dow had a conversation about the law and how it's very interesting that when you think about living in this world, and that's why it's so important for us to come out of her, my people, is that the law really is not of Yah. It's totally opposite of Yah. And where the world thinks that they're honoring women by keeping them equal to man, right? They think that treating women equal to men, they actually are respecting them, but they're actually dishonoring the women. They're actually telling the women that you are a hoe, that you are a slut, that you are a woman of reproach, right? I mean, when you look at it, it's like, it kind of reminds me of, when I think of it, it reminds me of, before I go into but that's kind of what's happening here. And so I wanted to show you guys that what Pastor Dow has been talking about, that we truly live in a matriarchal society. And that is not the way of Yah. Let me show you something here. Go to, brother, and I don't think I have this with you, but go to Isaiah 55:8 and read. Isaiah 55:8. And tell me when you get there.
I'm good.
Okay, he's there. Let's give him a chance to get it. Okay, read.
For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahweh.
So Yah's way is not our ways. His ways are totally different. It's totally opposite. See, man changes with time. Yah is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. He does not change. And so we got to understand that when we look at the world system and look at Yah's system, they're going to be totally opposite. Just like the heavens are up there and we're down here, it's just totally different. Two different worlds. And so here I wanted to read an article here that I found on a website, and we're gonna start. I can start, and I got this from I just want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. It's from a law firm called Eisenberg Law, right? And they're helping fathers. You guys, with my situation, and there's many people going through this stuff where fathers just don't even know they have rights or not. Me going through divorce, you really learn, or anything in this society, you really realize how much rights the father has. So let me start reading, and then I'm going to bring some scripture, but I want to bring some clarity here. So let me read here. What are the father rights in Wisconsin? It says, if you father a child, right? That's key word, child, but we'll keep reading. But are not married to the mother. Wisconsin law does not give you parental rights. Let me repeat that again. Wisconsin law, this is the law society. This is the legal society. So Wisconsin legal society have their own statutes, have their own codes, which we don't need to be a part of. That's all we need to come out of her, my people. But look what they say. Wisconsin law does not give you parental rights as a matter of course. The default position is the mother of the child as the sole legal society. You see that legal laws, right? Legal society, sole legal custody of the child. This includes not only the right to determine where the child will live, but also to the right to make decisions in his or her life. Authorizing non-emergency health care, consent to marriage or military service, and even the choice of schools and religion. Isn't that crazy? Even the religion for the child all goes to the mother. This is a matriarchal society. Listen to this. To gain your father's right in Wisconsin, you have to first establish your the paternity with the court. So the court is literally the head. I thought we live in the world where we are governed by the consent, by the government of the consent, that the powers of the government derives their power from the people who gives them their consent to govern them. But this is what it says. To gain the father's right in Wisconsin, you have to first establish your paternity with the court. It says voluntary agreement between the parents. The easiest way to establish paternity is through an agreement with the mother. Can they see that?
Okay.
Okay, mother.
If both parents sign the Wisconsin voluntary acknowledgement of paternity form, the father's name is added to the birth certificate. Alternatively, if the parents later marry, you can sign the Wisconsin acknowledgement of a maternal child form, which provides the joint paternal rights under marriage. Okay, opening a paternity case. One potential problems with a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity is that signing the form does not automatically grant the father legal rights. You see that again? I'm going to keep saying legal rights. That's the part of the legal society. The legal society has their hands in everything. Every time you sign your name, every time you have to sign, you are literally binding yourself to the legal society. So grant the father legal right regarding the child. Even if the two parents agree on paternity, a court order, you see that? Court order has to establish a father's right. I thought a father's right comes from the Heavenly Father. But here it's saying that the father's right has to be established. A court order has to establish the father's rights. Until that happens, the mother, right? The mother in Wisconsin retains sole legal custody and all rights to make major decisions for the child. If there is no agreement, the father can file a paternity action and take a blood test to establish his paternity. Once either a voluntary paternity acknowledgement or a DNA test establishes paternity, the father must then request a court hearing, right, to determine legal custody and child physical placement. It's like the natural father literally has to adopt his biological son. Do you see this stuff? The court must approve parenting plan. It says the court must approve a parenting plan that includes physical placement of the child, support obligation, and daily schedule for the child. A father's right do not come automatically under Wisconsin law. An unwed father needs to go to the court, to gain any rights to custody and placement with the child. And it ends on this. The father rights attorney at Enzenberg Law Office can help you establish your parental rights. So we'll stop there. So you can see here clearly that the father in Wisconsin, according to the Wisconsin law, according to the Wisconsin Legal Society, that he derives his parental rights from the court. He has to literally get permission from the courts to be the father.
It's crazy.
So, guys, this is off the chain. So let me show you something here. Go to I want to show you something here. Go to Numbers, right? So this is I read to you man's law here in Wisconsin, right? I want you to go to Numbers chapter 30 and read for me. Oh, we're gonna read here, but I want you to you can go ahead and read that for me. Read.
And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded.
Okay, who's commanded?
Yahweh.
Yahweh commanded. I just read to you man's law, and it's not even man's law. It's really legal because it's not even law. It's unlawful. But I just read to you Wisconsin law, and now we're reading Yah's law. Okay, read.
If a man vow a vow unto Yahweh, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto Yahweh, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond, wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
So when the father remains silent, now that woman has to be, she's going to be held accountable to that vow, right? This is how Yah's dealing with this situation. We're not talking about the judge. We're not talking about man. We're talking about how Yah is going to deal with the situation. Keep reading.
But if her father disallow her.
So if the father disallow what?
Her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. And Yahweh shall forgive her, because her father disallowed it.
Because her father disallowed it. See, in this case, when you have a woman, a sister in Israel who is covered by her father because she's in her father's house, the father is the covering. The father, see, she made a vow. And when she made that vow and the father heard it, he said, I forbid it. He disallowed it. Yah backs up and says, okay, I'm not going to hold that woman because her cover came in and spoke up. And I'm not going to hold her accountable. I really believe when Adam, the reason why when he ate that fruit, when Eve ate it, it really was not until, but Adam, guess what he did? He kept his mouth shut. He kept his mouth shut. And not only he kept his mouth shut, he partook in it. Meaning he was in agreement to his woman. Right. That's when their eyes open. Guys, you can see this stuff. That the man was always meant to be the cover, even from the beginning. Because people said, no, after the fall, that's when it became, it was meant to be equal. They were both creating the image of Yah. That's BS. It was never like that. You can see it right there that Yah did not even consider Eve yet and waited to see what Adam would do. And because Adam did not, he kept quiet. Now he partook in it. That's when their eyes opened. Right. Because he was her cover from the beginning. And if I'm making that up, if I'm wrong, please comment below. We'll talk about that later. Keep reading.
And if she had at all a husband.
Now we're going from a sister who's single under her father's now going to a woman who has a husband. Okay, go.
When she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul.
Now listen to this. Now is she equal partners? Let's just see if now in the world's eyes, you're partners. You're equal. You are equal in the eyes of the law. But let's see. Now this woman is I'm no longer in my father's house. Now I'm going to my husband's house our house. We're equal, 50-50. Community state. Let's see if Yah sees it the same way that the world sees it. Let's see. Read.
And her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it. Then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and Yahweh shall forgive her. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand.
So the husband can disallow it too. Keep reading.
And every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband hath utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceedeth out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void, and Yahweh shall forgive her. Every vow.
What verse are you on?
I'm on verse 13.
Okay, go.
Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from... Keep going. At her from day to day, then he establisheth all her vows, or all her bonds, which are upon her. He confirmeth them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if she shall anyways make them void, if he shall anyways make them void.
So he can make them void.
Yes.
Not this is partner. Can she make his things void?
No.
Okay, keep reading.
Make them void after that he heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which Yahweh commanded Moses.
Whose statutes are these?
Yahweh's.
Whose statutes are these?
Yahweh's.
Okay, go.
Between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth, in her father's house.
All right. So as you guys can see here, you can see clearly here that Yah's way is not the same as man's way. I want you to go back and read Isaiah 55:8 for me. Just read that one more time. Just want to bring clarity to that. Isaiah 55 verse 8.
For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahweh.
So you can see his ways are not our ways, right? And so, people, this is exactly, so I wanted to show you guys between man's law, you can see clearly we are in a matriarch society, and you can see according to Numbers 30 that Yah is about patriarch. Yah's ways in his kingdom is a patriarch society. And then the world that we live in is matriarch. That's what we have to come out of her, my people. Mm-hmm. Do you guys see that? Do you see it? What do you think about this, David, so far? What do you think about this?
On, brother. I mean, it's the truth. Definitely.
So as we keep going here, I want you to go to Ephesians chapter 6. I want to show you something. Go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. Let's read. And can you help me to control that? Because I want to find something here. When you get to Ephesians chapter 4, chapter 6, verse 4, you can read. Actually, start at verse 1. You can start at verse 1.
Verse 1?
Yeah, just go to verse 1, but we just going to leave 4 there. Yep.
Children, obey your parents in the master, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. And ye fathers...
Okay, ye fathers. Now, so look who's being charged here. Not the mother. Look who's being charged to bring up the next generation. Read.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
Provoke not your children to wrath. How do you provoke your? What does that mean? See, I always want to know what that means. I believe I know what that means. When you got when you got sons and daughters raising up without fathers, they get frustrated in life. They get provoked to anger because they don't know what to do, because there was no one there to teach them how to be a man, how to be a woman. And so they grow up being provoked. And he gives us the solution to not provoke what? Your sons to wrath. How do you do that? How do they do that? What's the solution to not provoking your sons and daughter to wrath? Go.
But bring them up in the nurture and admonish of Yahweh. So
we live in a society where that 70% of people are divorcing. And out of that 70% of divorce are led by women. They're the one that are initiating these divorces and literally turning their sons and daughters into bastards. Straight bastards. Just like when the women just like the law, when they think they're treating the women with respect, they're actually dishonoring that woman and calling her a whore. They think they're doing what's in the best interest of the sons and daughter, and they call them children. I don't want to use that term, but I'm just using that term but they think they're doing what's best in the best interest of the sons and daughter, but they're literally treating them like bastards. Literally like bastards by removing the father, because the father is the image and glory of Yah, not the woman. The father, the man, was creating the image and glory of Yah, not the woman. The woman represents the man. She is the glory of man. If you don't believe me, go to Hebrews chapter 12, verse 7. Look at this. See, our society think they're doing good, but they're doing evil. Didn't they say in the word that it says that there's going to be a time where good is considered evil and evil is good? Yep. Now we got evil. Literally evil is being put up on a pedestal and being so. This is the standard of life, and it's bad. And you know what the crazy part is? Christianity is a part of it. Christianity literally supports the legal society. They endorse it. When they say, in the power that's invested in me, the state of Wisconsin or whatever state you're in, power investors, I now pronounce you men and women. They're the one that's encouraging people to go to the state to get a marriage license. They're the one that's encouraging the state to go get a birth certificate. It's these Christians. Mm-hmm. Because the Christians belong to the world. They're not of Yah. They're literally leading people to error, to destruction. Read Hebrews chapter 12. Look at this. Look how sons are now. Let's do what's in the best interest of children. Let's see. Read.
If ye endure chastening, Yah dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
What are you?
Bastards.
Why are you a bastard? Go before that and read that again. Why are they bastards?
But if ye be without chastisement.
Without chastisement, who's the one that's doing the chastening?
Yahweh.
Yahweh, right? And just like a what? A father would, right? So if you're not being chastised, you are a bastard. But in our society, CPS will say what? Beating your sons and daughters, what? Child abuse. Abuse. You're not allowed to.
Doing the opposite.
You're doing the actually opposite. They're literally telling you to hate your sons and daughters. They're literally telling you to provoke them to wrath. You see that the law literally teaches you how to hate. But guess what? Christianity is doing the same thing. Christianity and the world are one and the same. And I'm going to show you how that's true. But please read that again. Chastise. But if ye without chastise is what?
Whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
Unto the mother?
The Father.
Unto the to the court system?
The Father.
Unto the judge?
The Father.
Unto the guardian litem?
The Father.
The Father. Wow! And that's the one that they try to take out all the time. Keep reading.
For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure. But he
according to the court's pleasure? According to the mother's pleasure?
Their own.
Who's there? Who's
Father.
The father's pleasure, right? It's not even according to Yah's pleasure. It's just whatever the father sees right. And there's nothing wrong. He's doing the way I lead this community. Don't I do according to my pleasure? But doesn't it sit within? But it still stays within the law of Yah, right? So that's the father. But no, they want us to lead. They want these fathers to do what's according to the mother's pleasure, or to the court's pleasure, or to society pleasure, or the children's pleasure. Do you guys see this stuff? This is according to the father. And keep reading. And look how they treated fathers back then.
But he, for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness.
Wow. Is that okay? Holiness. Okay, I want you to go to. Okay, we got that one. I want you to go to. We got that. Go to. I want you to go to Isaiah 3:12. Go to Isaiah 3:12. I want you to read this. Listen to this. So look at. So we're supposed to. So the father is supposed to raise up their sons according to their own pleasure. According to what? Just like my own Ishai is the same thing as a husband. I'm supposed to mold her, shape her according to my likeness, right? Because at the end of the day, she's a representation of me. As I am a representation of Yeshua, as Yeshua is the representation of the Father, right? But read Isaiah 3:12.
As for my people.
As for my people, go.
Children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
Women rule over these children who are oppressing the men. That's what this is saying. My people. Because he's talking to the men. This was always a patriarch. This has always been a patriarchal society from day one. Look what he says right here: rule over them. And anytime a woman is ruling, Satan is really the head. That's who's really leading. Read.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
To righteousness.
To err.
To goodness.
To err.
To err. So, but the woman's in charge. The woman, Mama knows best.
To err.
Mama, come on. You telling me to err? Not when the woman's in charge. You know things are good. It's got to be right. That's what the society says. Look what this says right here. I mean, Jordan, are you not listening to what the father? It comes from the mother. The court knows what's best.
To err.
To err. My. Keep reading.
And destroy the way of thy paths.
Wow. So you're telling me that Yah sees that his people are being led to err, to destroy the past when the woman is ruling. And the children are being used. Who are being used to control men so much? Child support. They're throwing them in jail, trying to get the men to acquiesce and capitulate to the women. And literally they're trying to get these men to bow their knees to these women. And they use the sons and daughters to try to pull at the heartstrings of the father to get him to submit, literally submit. This is why, and I'm just going to just quote the scripture off today, but that's what it says. If you want to destroy a man, you have to first bound up the strong man. and you can destroy everything in the house, Jesus says. Everything in the house. And that's what this court system is doing. That's what this world is about. But go to 1 John chapter 4. I want to show you something here that this is Christianity. And I'm going to, guys, I'm not making it. When I say Christianity, I can't tell you how many Christian churches, when I went to them and brought Numbers 30 and told them about my situation, they told me, we cannot support you. We need a court order. Ron Young, Chris Nelson from NEW Lutheran School. These are private Christian schools. Two different denominations. One is Protestant. The other one is Lutheran. And they both said that they're solo scriptures. They both said that everything they do is biblical. And when you bring the word to them, they completely rejected it. I have letters that I'm going to read it on Patreon. I'm going to read these letters so you can hear it yourself. Where these men are literally telling me, Kabir, we cannot move unless we get court order. And I said, forget the court order. I got something better. I got Yah's order. And you know what this says? They literally ignored it. And there's a reason why they ignored it, because they're not of Yah. They're not. This is how you can tell them, you can know them by their fruits. Hold on, let me be sure. It's 1 John. Can you go to Esor, 1 John? And start at verse 4. 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. Start there.
Ye are of Yah, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. They are of the world. Therefore speak they of the world.
Look at, they are of the world, speak they of the world. So when I came in, because I wasn't obviously of the world, I thought that, hey, I'm thinking, man, I'm of Yah, they of Yah, man, I'm just gonna bring the word. They talking about court order. My ex-wife is using court order. I'm bringing the word of Yah. I'm bringing Yah's order. And that literally got rejected. They wouldn't even acknowledge Yah's word. Literally put it in an email format. I mean, boom. And they rejected it. They said, we will only acknowledge the court order. The court order. So who's their God then?
Man.
Who's their God?
Right, the court.
Read verse 5.
Therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of Yah. He that knoweth Yah heareth us. He that is not of Yah heareth not us.
So you hear that? So those who are not of Yah can't hear us. So when I brought Yah's word, they couldn't hear. Ron Young couldn't hear. The headmaster of the principal or whatever, administrator for NEW Lutheran School, private school here in Wisconsin, big Lutheran school here, could not hear. Literally rejected. Took a day or two to actually look at the scripture I gave him and came back and says, we need a court order. You know why I say needed a court order? Because this is the world. He says Wisconsin law does not give parental rights as a matter of course. The default position is that the mother of the child has sole legal custody of the child. I don't care if you have 50-50 custody. They look at the mother as the thing. Keep reading.
Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Beloved,
that's it. You can stop right there. So that's how you know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. So that's how you can see, that's how you can know them by their fruits. That's how you're able to see a wolf in sheep clothing. See, I don't care what they say. They talk with their mouths. They say, we love Yah, but do not keep his commandments. Then you even come to him and say, hey, man, I'm the father. These are my sons and daughter. I forbid them from being in the Christmas program. I forbid them from doing extracurricular activity. And it says, we are only going to do what the mother says. If you want to speak on this, if you want to change how your sons and daughter are being handled here, you need to go to the court. Don't go to Yah. Forget Yah. We don't even care what Yah says. We don't care what Jesus says. I know we're a Christian school. We don't give a damn what Jesus says. All we want to know is what is that man that's acting judge in that black robe, what does he say? We need court order. You guys think I'm making this thing up? Man, I can't make this thing up. They literally, Ron Young and the board literally rejected the word of Yah. The other Christian school rejected the word of Yah. The church I used to go to rejected the word of Yah. And the world loves them. They're rejected. Why do they reject it? Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you what they're following. They're not following the Bible. They're following this stuff. Let me read here. It says right here, this includes not only the right to determine where the child will live, but also the right to make decisions in his life or her life, authorizing non-emergency health care, consent to marriage or military service, and even the choice of schools and what? Religion for the child. Guys, I can't make this thing up. So now when I look at this, I'm like, oh, they're not following the Bible. They following the Wisconsin law. They're following that society. They're not following the Most High Yah. They're following Wisconsin law. They say if you need to, they show me their hands. They're showing me their hands that they belong to the Wisconsin law, the legal society. That's why we need to come out of her, my people. Straight up, we need to come out of her, my people. So guys, we are living in that days. I want to show you something here. Go to Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. We are living in days, and I can see it now. You got all these women getting money through divorce. So many wealth have been transferred from a man to a woman, and I believe not only just through death, but it's also through divorce, family court. They're literally administrating, and I can see it now because back in Israel, when this was written, you couldn't imagine a woman saying this. Read Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1.
And in that day.
In that day. What day? What day were they talking about? In times, in that day, read.
7 women.
7 women. I mean, okay, I can understand maybe one woman maybe being wealthy. I can understand one woman. 7, read.
7 women shall take hold of one man.
One man. Polygyny. Go.
Saying, we will eat our own bread.
Eat our own bread.
And wear our own apparel.
Man, isn't that something that a man's supposed to provide for a woman? Provide food, shelter, conjugal rights. Isn't that what a man's supposed to do? And this woman is telling these 7 women, saying that we would take care of our own food, our own bread, we would take care of our own apparel. But now you'll think polygyny, because the world says polygyny. I mean, you can have same-sex marriage. It can be man on man, woman on woman. That is perfectly fine because under Wisconsin it's protected that you can have same-sex marriage. But a man wanting to have more than one woman, it is an abomination when it comes to Wisconsin law. When it comes to United States law, it is an abomination. But Yah's law saying that this will actually remove a woman's reproach. Wait a minute. You're going from a reproach situation according to the legal society of Wisconsin to now you're moving to a place where you have no more reproach and you're going to one man? I mean, bro, is this totally different from Yah's way and man's way? Read, let's see. Listen, we want to go to a reproachful situation. We want to be a woman of reproach by being with one man, even though I'm going to be sharing this one man with 6 other women. Read.
Only let us be called by thy name.
Wow. Be called by that name. Mm-hmm.
To take away our reproach.
No, not to give us reproach. Okay, hold on. Okay, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey got money. She could take care of her own bread. She could take care of her own apparel, right? And you're telling me now you got women who can take care of their own stuff and they're running to one man to take away their reproach, take away their shame. Isn't that crazy? But in our society, in the Wisconsin or in this world society, a woman who has her own money, her own clothes, who can do her own thing is a beautiful woman. She's a star. She's a diva. Isn't that what they call her? She's a diva. Look, this is a woman. What? Sing it.
I'm not singing.
Oh, okay. She's a diva. And now she's literally so desperate, she's begging that if one man, can you just take me? Please remove my reproach. Remove my reproach. And this is in the word of Yah. Is that what it says in there?
That's right.
So guys, let me show you something here. Let me end on this stuff here. So guys, don't be fooled by the laws of Wisconsin or any state that you're in the United States of America. Okay? Because to be honest with you, there's a contract called the United States Constitution by the people and the government. Okay? We have a contract. Everything in this country is contractual. Everything is through consent. Okay? And believe it or not, when you have a contract with another person, there is no law in this land, in this country, that can trump that law. None. Do you hear what I'm saying? None. I'm going to show you in 2 places. You check your state constitution, but I'm going to be reading the Wisconsin. But I'm going to read here in Article 1 in the United States. This affects everybody. The United States Constitution. If you go to Article 1, this is Article, let me make sure this is Article 1. Right? Section 10, and sometimes called Clause 3, it says, no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills, credit, make anything or any but gold and silver, coin and tender. That's a whole nother story right there, in payment and in debts. Pass any bill of attainder or ex post facto laws. Here's the part. So no state, what says right there? No state shall enter what? No state law impairing. So no law impairing the obligation of contract. No. Oh, you found that. Good. No law. What impair?
It might read different here. So
no, it's right there. No law impairing the obligation of contract. Right there. Or grant any title of nobility. So that's in the United States Constitution. Now let me take you to Wisconsin. I think this is everywhere too. But in Wisconsin, Article 1, Section 12. Article 1, Section 12. I want you guys to see this because I don't want you guys to think I'm going to make this. I'm going to give Brother David time to look this thing up.
Article 1, Section what?
Section 12. Article 1, Section 12 in the Wisconsin Constitution. Just go Article 1. Just go to Article 1. Yep, Section 12. Look what it says here. Can they see that? That's two. Actually, go back. Let me show you where to go. Go back to the other thing. Go back. Just go back. Go back.
That's it. What do you mean?
Go back again. Just go back one more. Okay. Go to Wisconsin document right there. That one. Yeah, that one. Go down. Scroll down. I want to show you something. Right here. Slow down right there. The second page.
Article. Now we're going to Article 2.
Yeah, go up.
Article 2. Article 1.
Keep going up. Right there. Up at the very top. Okay. No, go. That's page 3. Go to the. Oh, that's page 3. That's right. Okay. Article 1. Where is this one? Scroll up. What page are we on? Right there. Okay. Go down. Keep going. Oh. You see that attainer? Where is that? The right of suitor.
Section 21.
It's section 12. Go to section 12.
Section 9.
Okay. So go up. It's on the right hand side. But I can't even see it there. No, he's right there. I think they must have added to it. The Constitution must have changed them. Right there. Okay. All right, guys. If you can see right there where what's name is highlighting, look what it says. It says no bill. Guys, look, it says no bill of attainder ex post facto law, nor any law impairing the obligation of contracts shall ever be passed, and no conviction shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture of state. Okay, so guys, nor any law impairing the obligation of contract. So this is what this means, guys. So, like for example, me and Sister Bree, we have a contract. We have a marital contract between me and her. And that's it. There's no state. This is not, and this is sanctioned under Straightway Truth Ministry, with led by Pastor Dow, with the elders support. That's what that section right there, and it dictates how everything is going to be regulated. They can't come in and impair that obligation. Matter of fact, because we don't have a marriage license. It's not even about the marriage license, to be honest with you guys. Even if you have a marriage license with the state, if you and your Shia get this contract, and actually me and Pastor Dow's working with Brother Baldwin, we are actually working on a document that we can use in Israel that is only here at Straightway, that is between the man and the woman. Even if you have a marriage license, that will trump any marriage license or anything coming on. when they sign it, because when they sign that and they have free consent and they sign that, it literally gives all authority to the man based off of the Bible, not the world standard, according to the Bible. So when that comes out, I'll let you guys know. But right now, Pastor Dow and myself are still working out the kinks. But that is a contract, and it is actually valid. It reminds me of this, actually, in your hometown with Minnesota. It's kind of like this, to give you guys an understanding. It's kind of like this. What time is it? Okay, I'm getting close. Okay, I got to wind this down. But it kind of reminds me of this is when Prince, what is that his name? The artist, Prince, the singer, when he died without a will. He died without a contract and of how to distribute his wealth. And when he died without that, he died what they call estate. What they call that word? I even wrote it down. Intestate, meaning you die without a will. And when you don't have a will, the state that you live in literally has a contract. The legal society comes up and they have a way that they will adjudicate your belongings and give it out. They have their own statutes, their own code. So you may have heard the word. It's called probate. So when your thing goes through probate, anytime your thing is going through probate, it means that you died without a will or a trust. And when you do that, the state, the judge will now determine what happens to your stuff. Who gets your stuff? Whatever that is. It could be your money or whatever. If you die without. And so that's what it's kind of like when you don't have a contract between you and your woman or anybody. When you don't have a contract, it's like you died. It's like you're getting married without a will or a contract. And so guess what? You end up adopting the contract of the state that you're in. And then your family matters will be adjudicated according to their stuff. They incorporate that family and incorporate and do the rules according to them. And if you don't want that, if you want to avoid probate, what do? You write a trust. You have a will. That's how you avoid probate, because the law can't come in and mess with that trust because it's already a contract in place, because there's no law that can impair the obligation of contracts. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? There's so many people out there that don't have a will, don't have a trust, but the trust is what you really want, because the wills can kind of be iffy. But you need to get a trust. Put your stuff in a trust so that it can avoid probate, meaning that you're not going to have your stuff be divvied out through the state. You're going to determine how your stuff is going to get divvied out. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any questions? You guys?
Is that what they call probation? Is that
Probate. So when it mean by probate, that means if you die without a will or a trust, then you go through probate. So that means they'll take all your stuff, they'll get all your assets, and then the judge will now give court order on how everything will be adjudicated. People can come in, make a claim. Well, that's my dad. Well, that was my husband. And everybody can make their claim, and then they have their own way of you may not want somebody to get your stuff, but if you don't have a will, the state will adjudicate, and it doesn't matter who that will. And if you don't want the state to get involved in your personal and your private affair, then you need to have a trust. Well, I'm saying this too. If you don't want this matriarch society to have a say in your family, then get a contract between you and the woman that will hold up in court. Do you hear what I'm saying? And that's what we're trying to work out right now, to get a contract that's common to our people and how we do things around here. And so that if anybody ever wants to go to you, you can say, hey, I got me a contract here. And there's no law. But now here's what happens. Even if you sign that, hear what I'm saying? Even if you sign that contract, and if, let's say, the woman in this case goes to the law and then somehow trick you into the law by saying you abused your son or your daughter, or you molesting them, and then they try to scare the hell out of you through the criminal court and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden say, well, hey, we will remove the court order, the temporary restraining order, if you sign a marital settlement agreement. And if you sign that can end up voiding the contract. They can make a case that, hey, you voided that when you signed that. They said, no, I was forced. They don't care. It's too late. They got your signature. Don't sign anything. Is that the word? Don't sign anything. Don't sign anything. Because I don't want to say double negative. I always say don't sign nothing. Don't sign anything. I just want to make sure. Don't be signing stuff because you can literally end up voiding the contract you had with your Ishaya. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So just understand that right now the reason why the state is able to do what they do, because a lot of people have these marriages and they think because they got this marriage license, they have a contract. You don't. You actually are married and it's been recognized by the state, but you don't have a contract. And because you don't have a contract, it makes it very easy to get into your family's affair and rip it apart. Because you pretty much was like getting married without a contract. So get a contract between you and that woman on how things will be adjudicated. If you want that to be adjudicated by the Bible, you need to make sure you have a contract between the two of you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I want to show you. You see it in the state constitution. And every state constitution has to be in line with the United States Constitution. So anyway, I hope this thing stimulated thought, guys. I would talk more on my Patreon, but I just want to share that with you guys that we need to come out of her, my people. Because you can clearly see that the world standard is matriarchal. Yah's standard is patriarchal. Two different worlds. Your power in the world system derives from the what? Derives from the woman. In the patriarchal society, your powers derives from everything has to come through the man. And Yah recognized the man, the world recognized the woman. And so that is why we need to come out of her, my people. It's a wicked system. If I, a man who was able to love my woman according to the scripture, provide food, shelter, conjugal rights, to be a good father, to give directions, to raise them up in the way they should go to the best of my ability at the time, right? And even with my reputation, my good name was able to didn't mean nothing at the end of the day. If I can lose all 8 sons or 7 sons and 1 daughter, how many people who don't even have the same type of credibility as me can lose the same thing? It is a hard battle. And the only way you will be able to, quote unquote, get your sons and daughter back is you have to. I'm telling you right now, you have to acquiesce and capitulate to the woman. The church know it. The state know it. The man has to literally bow his knees to that woman. And when you do that, you are literally being led by the Hasatan himself. Straight up. And that's why I was willing to lose my wife, my sons, and my daughter, because I love Jesus. Jesus says, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. And I did not want to lose my soul. I had to be willing to forsake it all. I had to forsake wife, sons, mother, father, brother, sister, house, to make sure that I stay abided in Christ Jesus alone. So anyway, I hope that stimulated thought. Those who are on Patreon, follow me on Patreon. I'm gonna read some emails so you can see some personal emails that I have not put out there. But I want to show you guys clearly how Christianity literally is part of the world system. They're not of Yah. They are truly wolves in sheep clothing. So that's all I have.
All right. Well, thank you, Brother Kabir, for your time. Saints, we're gonna shut it down now at this point. If you guys have any more questions or not concerns, but if you guys want to know more about Straightway Truth Ministries, you guys can go to the website. That's straightway.com or straightwaytruth.com. They both work. You guys can see on here on the screen. If you guys have any more questions, resources about what Straightway is about, all their scheduling is on here. Don't forget, every Sabbath day at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, there is a live Shabbat service on the website. If you guys can't get on the website because you're working through an iPhone or an Android phone that doesn't play a flash drive, you can go to youtube.com/Straightway Live, and you'll be able to catch all the Shabbat services on there live as well. So that's pretty much it. Brother Kabir, closing words.
So I noticed that our Patreon is growing. It seems like it's growing a lot and people are moving up. And so, guys, tonight I got a beautiful treat for you guys if you come to the after party. What do we call it? The after show?
The KGB Live.
The KGB Live
Lounge.
show. Huh?
KGB
Lounge. The
Live
live lounge.
party.
So come to the after party. I have a treat. You don't want to miss it. We'll talk a little bit about what we talk about. I got a treat for you guys. And
we're opening up the lines for any questions.
Yeah, we're going to open up the line. Please, interaction, guys. Talk. I'd love to hear you guys interact. All right. Look forward to see you guys. Remember, be faithful in the little things. Shalom, shalom.
It's KGB. Live show. We gon' set it right. Live show. We only tell the truth. Live show. We gon' set it right. Live show. The true straight way.
Straight from the scripture.
Straight way.
To you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way.
Straight from the scripture.
Straight way.
To you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way. For this truth, they really hate me. I hit them like a safety. On my way to the mountaintop, ain't no way they gon' stop me. When you live this life, you only get one shot. Time is running out, but you keep looking at the clock. But for me and my household, we're gonna be doers of the word. It's KGB. Live show. We gon' set it right. Live show. We only tell the truth. Live show. We gon' set it right. Live show. The true straight way.
Straight from the scripture.
Straight way.
To you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way.
Straight from the scripture.
Straight way.
To you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way.